Welcome back. So let's continue the second part of a lecture, which is discussing a chapter which I've encouraged you to read, and it's written by Raina, and it's on ethnographic research, and she provides a very nice summary of the methodological distinctives of ethnographic research, and she helps us. She provides a nice job at pointing out the legacies of people like Margaret Mead and Malinowski that you're already familiar with, and I mention important thinkers such as Clifford Geertz. But let's read on. Let's go into full screen mode now, and let's read on where we left off on page 171. So we're now up to talking about data collection methods. Ethnographers don't go into the field empty-handed. They bring data collection methods to help organise their work and gain an understanding. These data collection methods involve both direct and not so direct involvement in a research setting. Participant observation is the ethnographer's direct or active participation in local activities. And this has been described as near total immersion when ethnographers live in unfamiliar communities where they have little or no knowledge of local culture and study life in those communities through their own participation as full-time residents and members. In addition to that, an ethnographer who does not have a medical background, for example, can't participate as a healthcare worker in a medical setting. That would be impossible. In this case, the ethnographer finds himself in the role as a non-participant observer. In fact, ethnographers work are within a continuum in which participant observer is at one end and non-participant observer is at the other. I would prefer to use the term non-participant observer, but that is a small point that we don't need to labour. In addition to participant observation, ethnographic interviews are unique, however, in that ethnographic interviews are another form of data collection. Next to participant observation, the most important form of data collection practiced by anthropologists. Ethnographic interviews are unique in that they are more like guided conversations than structured interviews. In-depth and open-ended conversations explore a topic in detail to deepen the interviewer's knowledge of the topic. Open-ended refers to the fact that the interviewer is open to any and all relevant responses. At times, these interviews take the form of exchanges with particular events or topics. At other times, they more closely resemble life histories. Ethnographic interviews have been described as developing rapport and eliciting information. The best ethnographic interview is like a conversation, more like a conversation than a traditional interview. We've already been introduced to the concept of key informant, but this is the way that key informants are summarised. When conducting fieldwork, ethnographers find that some people are better informants than others. These individuals are key informants. Key informants may be community members with an extensive knowledge of the community and who are willing to share this knowledge. Close relationships between ethnographers and key informants present unique challenges, however. Over-reliance on a single key informant may provide limited or skewed data. The intimacy that develops is as an ethnographer gains acceptance, develops friendships, and at times becomes a member of the community, make the maintenance of objectivity difficult. Although ethnography itself has been a delicate balance of subjectivity and objectivity, and this is an issue we've dealt with already. So what do we do with our data? What do we do with our data? Ethnographers collect a great deal of data, and their job is to find patterns in that body of collected information. Pattern seeking is not limited to ethnographers, but it is a behaviour characteristic amongst them, something they do almost out of habit, because ethnography is iterative in that it continually circles back on itself. Pattern seeking begins with fieldwork itself, right from the start, developing research questions, recording field notes, writing memos about the research process, spur the iterative process. As questions emerge, existing questions are modified and new questions formulated. This practice, in which data shape decisions about fieldwork, is the start of ethnographic data analysis. Data analysis and collection has been referred to as tidying up or organising data for storage and retrieval. We've talked about this in other sections of this course, as well as the introduction to the course. Most fundamentally, that organisation should include making copies of and ordering field notes, creating a management system, perhaps in an Excel spreadsheet, indexing all documents and artefacts, finding a place for their safekeeping. The end result is a catalogue of and secure storage system of absolutely all data collected. Tidying up is essential because ethnographic research builds on itself. Ethnographers are always mucking about in their data. A workable system that affords easily retrievable data is imperative to both data collection and analysis. Some ethnographers develop a management system early in their data collections, others organise after returning from the field. And this is something which I'm particularly keen to emphasise to all of you taking the course. We must organise our data. We must know how to file it, file it properly, giving file names with all the information in folders that are easy for you to find, in which we can use tags to help us find our way around, and that have been backed up in more than 2 places. Incredibly important. Tidying up is a necessary and preliminary kind of analysis, one that the ethnographers need to do before they could even begin to approach a more in-depth examination of this voluminous data. The more in-depth analysis, the findings or patterns happen in a deductive manner or from the top down, and in an inductive manner from the bottom up. Most ethnographers do not start with a pre-existing coding system. Ethnographers tend to work inductively, that is, they generate codes from their data. The process of analysis involves the development of a set of analytical categories that capture relevant aspects of their data, and the assignment of particular items of data to these categories. For ethnographers, several steps are involved in analysing data inductively. We have to carefully read the entire body of work. We develop codes that describe chunks of data. The combination and reclassification of codes into categories, and the systematic structuring of categories into typologies or classifications based on characteristics and taxonomies, the ordered hierarchies of particular classifications. Two concepts, constant comparison and analytical induction, are important to this process. In the constant comparative method, analysis begins early on in the study, is ongoing, and is nearly completed at the end of data collection. A highly simplified version of constant comparison looks something like this. Ethnographers begin to identify and create categories that emerge as data is collected. Ethnographers continue to collect data. The new information that is collected is compared with these emerging categories. Categories are then shifted, modified and expanded to accommodate the new data. Themes begin to emerge across categories, which are tested as new data are collected. So in summary, their process continued until theoretical saturation. Now, what do we mean by theoretical saturation? It means when you get to a point where additional data no longer contributes to anything new about a concept. And we're going to just pause for a minute. We're going to go out of full screen now. We're going to pause for a minute, and that's probably saturation now. Thanks very much. Let's just pause briefly, and we will continue soon.